In the recent Venom movie that literally just hit the box office, we're introduced to some new things from the Venom universe. We get to see Knull for the first time, the Thanos-level threat for the entire Spider-Man universe, and of course, the Symbiote Codex. So now I'm sure that you, as a fan of Venom, must be wondering what it actually is. Well, fear not, dear viewers. We at Marvelous Videos have everything that you need to know about the Symbiote Codex and why Knull desperately wanted it. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. What is the Symbiote Codex? Imagine a huge manuscript textbook with a lot of information about a certain crucial thing, kind of like an encyclopedia that holds everything to know about such a topic. In simple terms, this is what a codex is when it comes to symbiotes. Usually, when a symbiote takes on a host, it takes a while for it to properly bond with the host, roughly around 48 hours. That is because the symbiote bonds on a cellular level, preventing easy separation. To fully separate a host and a symbiote, one or both of them have to die. But even if, let's say, the symbiote dies, that doesn't mean it's gone for good. Even if the symbiote dies, a part of it remains within the body of the host. That is essentially a codex, like a parting gift, a memory capsule that we give our loved ones before someone passes away. The codex contains memories, records of personalities, and the unique powers of these hosts. Now, I know that all of us who have seen the third movie remember that the codex seemed to keep lighting up in Eddie's spinal cord. So, does that mean Eddie was carrying the data and memory in his spine? Not exactly. So, the thing that we're seeing in Eddie's spinal cord, marked as the codex, is this trace amount of the living abyss. The living abyss is known by many names, such as Necropower, Black Ichor, Live Rubber, and Anti-Life. This is an eldritch substance that originates from the primordial cosmic void. This cosmic void in question existed before and between the multiverse. Generally speaking, we can consider this Black Ichor to be the exact opposite of the life and light that the Celestials created. Now, in Marvel history, the Kings in Black are known to be able to use this substance. They intend to use this Black Ichor and maintain the multiverse from the inside. The living abyss tastes like motor oil while being cold to the touch. It also has a smell of decay, even though it looks like plastic or latex. Since it is the exact opposite of the life and light created by the Celestials, the main function of the Black Ichor is to corrupt and destroy. Any creature that's created from the living abyss can easily kill gods and feed off their powers. Knull experimented with the living abyss and created the symbiotes to infect and corrupt gods and mortals alike, hoping to create this whole army of monsters. So, anyone who bonds with a symbiote will have some Black Ichor in them, which is also referred to as the Codex. Now, we have two meanings of the Codex. One is the Black Ichor, and the other one is effectively the virtual data set of the bond. But that's not all. The Codex plays a huge role in the symbiote world. Specifically, the relationships that the symbiotes share with the Horde and the one they share with a god host. The god host is, of course, Knull. The maker, as in Reed Richards, actually figured out pretty soon that the huge data set that these codices held were being shared with the rest of the Hive. So, whatever one bonded pair is doing, the rest of the symbiote clan would know. Since Knull created the symbiotes, they were effectively his extensions. He ensured that these symbiotes had his enormous strength. On top of that, each of the symbiotes had their own strengths and weaknesses and special powers of their hosts, which were detailed into the respective codices. So, if Knull got his hand on them, he would know about the strengths and weaknesses of all the beings that his symbiotes have come across in an instant. If the codices, which are kind of like a genetic data, are absorbed by Knull, he can also implement the powers mentioned in the coded data, effectively making his own army stronger. Now, we can find these information codices in both the hosts and the symbiotes. The symbiotes keep the codex on the host, and the host keeps a codex on the symbiote as a backup. That and the Black Ichor, of course. So, overall, they're pieces of information which symbolize legacy and power, and act as a reminder of what made the bond between the symbiote and the host so special. How can you get rid of the codex? After the introduction of codices, which act like a tractor for the xenophages, I was super curious to see how Eddie or Teddy Payne would suggest extracting the codex out of the former's body without killing either of them. While we did not get any such answers in the film, the comic book series, titled Absolute Carnage, actually has the answers that we seek. When Reed Richards found out about symbiotes leaving traces of their own constituents in the hosts, he decided to work on a machine that would extract these trace amounts out. The main reason he wanted to extract the codices was because he wanted to repair a damaged sample of this Venom symbiote from Earth 1610. Although this was the synthetic Venom symbiote, but Reed wanted to give it a shot. He hoped that maybe the codices he could extract would be of help. Venom contacted Richards and informed him of Carnage, who was out hunting and extracting codices from former symbiote hosts. So, to prevent making things easier for Carnage, Richards disassembled his entire machine and moved the apparatus to Rex Strickland's warehouse. He even told everyone that the machine was meant to destroy the extracted codices. However, he did not have anyone to test it on. While he waited for Spider-Man and Venom to return with Norman Osborn, the maker completed the machine, and Eddie's son, Dylan, named it Symbiote Codex Isolation and Thermoheated Extraction. The maker tried to use the machine on Normie Osborn, but was stopped when Riot, Phage, Lasher, and Agony showed up. These four symbiotes had joined hands with Carnage and had taken over a family of four. With no other options left, the maker managed to subdue them with his anti-symbiote weaponry. He put these four as well as the body of Telkar into the machine. Telkar was bonded with a symbiote named Sleeper. The machine ended up extracting the codices from each of the symbiotes. In later issues, Venom was absorbed by Carnage, leaving Eddie completely vulnerable. So with no other choice, Eddie broke into this machine and took the codices to create a Gestalt symbiote, which he then used to defeat Carnage for good. What role does the Codex play in future Venom-related projects? Kelly Marshall made it clear that she really wants Sony to explore Knull's evil doings in the future projects, which they have in store for the Spider-Man universe. Hopefully, using Knull, they would be able to bring the Avengers into the picture. And maybe we can get the epic Spider-Man vs. Venom fight we have been waiting for. Although no such news has been confirmed just yet, what we know for sure is that Knull ends up getting more screen time as a big bad villain. Then chances are that the codices will be coming back as well. Maybe Knull would try to get symbiotes to take over the Avengers, to get more information about their powers and then use it against them. I also would not be surprised if, by using the codex within him, Eddie manages to bring back Venom. Although technically, Venom did leave a piece of him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And in the post-credits scene, we can assume that maybe the small piece that Venom shed earlier in the bar survived the explosions. So, Venom's return is definitely pretty high on my bingo card. Marvelous verdict. Venom: The Last Dance was supposed to be this lovely farewell to a long-beloved franchise, and honestly, I would say the director and actors did an amazing job. We get a bittersweet ending for our favorite chaotic good duo, which reminded me very much of Logan. And we also get to learn more lore about the Spider-Man universe. With Knull introduced, I think things are about to get pretty critical for Spider-Man, and I, for one, am super excited to see what happens with this new supervillain. Until next time, folks, take care. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us. If you haven't already, have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.